In 1969, On the Buses arrived on our screens. Bold, bawdy and brash, it featured a cast who'd become some of Britain's best-loved comedy characters.
Blakey.
I hate you, Bucker.
People love a naughty old get, don't they?
Olive's glasses. I mean, hello.
It was very warm-hearted. It was the workers versus the boss.
Oh, you are a scruffy, dirty pair of toe rags, honestly.
I think it was quite a dysfunctional family, and I think everybody likes to feel slightly superior.
A seaside romp of a sitcom, it delighted audiences in their millions. The series revolved around lovable bus driver Stan Butler, his down-to-earth family, best friend and pulling partner Jack, and their arch-enemy Blakey. The show's working-class roots were key to its success.
Start on each other, leave your brother alone.
Oh, shut up a lot of you, let me learn this, will you? Right. F for Freddy, G for Georgie, H for hospital.
Blimey, mate. Look, I don't know why you bother. Your voice types you, mate. In this country, you can tell what a man is immediately he opens his mouth.
I think On the Buses was a gift of a subject because it was about class. And I think of all the races, the British are obsessed.
You're a snob. That's what you are.
It was about a world of the underdog. So we had sympathy with the characters.
The writers, Ronald Wolfe and Ronald Chesney, had already had a hit in the early 60s with The Rag Trade, a sitcom that also gave Reg Varney his first major TV role. It was a breakthrough show as the writers bravely poked fun at the powerful trade unions.
Girls, come out.
Do you mind? We're having a union meeting and you're not a member.
Influenced by their own humble backgrounds, they picked a bus depot as the setting for their new sitcom.
When we put the idea of the buses up to BBC, they said, oh, no fun in that, just when the bus comes in late, and that's about it, isn't it? What else is about it? They didn't realise it wasn't the buses, it was all the people involved.
So we went to London Weekend. Frank Muir, a very good friend, was in charge, and he loved the idea.
And I think to the BBC's fury, it became a very big hit.
Reg Varney was the ringleader of the On the Buses circus. He'd grown up in music hall and variety and was already a huge comedy star in the 60s. With Reg at the wheel, the new series was in safe hands.
Reg had been in the business for many years. He was, as we call it, a turn. So he knew his comedy roots. What Reg took in from variety was his wonderful ability to be drunk. He could fall, he could pull faces, he just had a complete variety background that was very strong.
You've been drinking, Butler. You're drunk, aren't you?
Hang about, shop steward. I cannot allow you to make unsubstantiated, slanderous allegations about one of our members.
I'll get the company doctor to give you a breathalyzer test.
You get the breathalyzer. I'm not frightened of the breathalyzer.
No.
My favourite character was Reg Varney, because he was just like a nice, lovable kind of guy who's just looking for a half-decent girlfriend, really.
Oh, come on, cheer up, mate. You must be able to get some bird to come out with you.
Well, I don't know. I can't seem to find one.
I think one forgets that Reg Varney was actually a very, very good actor, you know. I remember years ago seeing him in a play about a drag artist called The Best Legs in the Business, and it was a very moving performance.
Why'd you have to go on like that?
Oh, God, don't you start.
Well, you don't help him, you know, you ask for it.
That's it, I ask for it. I always ask for it. I've asked for it all my life.
And this is the key, I think, to good comedy acting. You've got to be a good actor, not just a comedian going into comedy.
He was rooted in reality, Reg, a very truthful performance.
Now listen, you two, I'm sick of dodging the tradespeople. You've got to give me more money.
Don't keep picking on me, Mum. Why don't you chip me with a bit more housekeeping?
Well, why I could play that type, because that's what I come from.
Yeah.
Bloody hard times.
Yeah.
Really, you know. So it was nothing for me to act that type of life, because I was already... That was my life.
Stan's mum was originally played by Cicely Courtnidge, but by Series 2, Doris Hare had taken the role of the bingo-loving and often overbearing matriarch of the family.
Inspector, sack that woman for immoral behaviour.
Mrs. Butler, if I started sacking the staff for immoral behaviour, there'd be nobody left in the depot.
Doris was 64 when she started in On the Bosses, with a hugely successful film and TV career behind her.
Doris had a play written specially for her by Noel Coward, and she really was a brilliant actress.
I don't know why she did the part, because she'd been in all sorts of plays, all sorts of music, but she was very, very good in that part.
Do I look all right?
Well, fancy taking all that trouble at your age.
Well, just because there's snow on the roof doesn't mean the fire's gone out.
Oh, blimey, Mum's getting to be a bit of an old sexpot.
Doris in Mum's Last Fling, I thought was absolutely outrageous.
Sure, I can see your vest.
When Doris did Mum's Last Fling, she had all the experience of the reviews, the theatre, the people she'd worked with, and she knew every trick in the book. Doris never wasted a gag.
No, it's cavalry style. Do you like it?
Yeah, there's room for the horse under there and all.
Well, I did take it up a bit. I thought it was a bit on the long side.
Yeah, you frightened of tripping over?
No, love, I was afraid it wouldn't show me new boots.
When she came in those high PVC boots, she made sure the camera got them. I mean, the cameraman didn't have to do anything. Doris had already done it.
It's a pity you didn't get them longer, isn't it?
Well, how do you mean?
Then you could have tucked your drawers in them.
The other woman in Stan Butler's life was his sister, played by Anna Karen. The eternally frumpy Olive was a character the British public couldn't help falling in love with. But the real-life Anna was very different. A South African who began acting in London in the late 60s, she perfected her Cockney accent with a gritty performance in Ken Loach's Poor Cow.
I've had her in for an hour, give her a tea and everything.
She also developed her talent for physical comedy with this role opposite Barbara Windsor in Carry On Camping. For a glamorous actress, the role of Olive was a big departure.
Hello, love. Well, you know what they say, a pretty mum has a pretty daughter.
Oh. Mum's told us all about you, hasn't she, Arthur?
I am standing over here, you great nut. Get your glasses back on.
I think Anna was superb as Olive. She put up with all those dreadful jibes and comments about her. All right, she was the butt of their jokes in the programme, but the audience felt an affection for her.
You'll be fixed in half an hour.
Don't look!
Don't worry about that, love. We've had enough shocks for one day.
Look, my legs all red and blotchy.
Well, you're very lucky it hasn't affected him in any way, aren't you?
Oh, shut up!
Michael Robbins played the eternally sarcastic Arthur. His miserable marriage to Olive became one of the mainstays of On the Buses, a relationship based on put-downs and constant bickering.
He was particularly unpleasant to her. There were some times it is very near the knuckle.
Why were they even married? Even when I was younger, I used to think that.
In future, Olive, will you shut up?
What about you, you big foghorn?
Seconds out. When you talk to me, kindly shut your mouth.
She wasn't a victim because she was very there. She was very present. They made fun of her, but she kind of came back.
Oh, Arthur, do you want to snuggle up to me?
No, I just wanted to finish a rather interesting article I was reading on the mating habits of pygmies.
Good, you might learn something.
I don't think it's offensive that Olive's sort of dowdy looks were the butt of the joke, because they were funny.
That's what she was made for, to be the butt of jokes, and I played her for that, and I wasn't a bit offended.
Coming up, the man who made Stan Butler's life a misery.
I'll get you for this, Butler.
We talk Clippies and Crumpet. And we discover what happened to the show stars when On the Buses came to an end.
He bought himself a Rolls Royce. He had a beautiful flat in Chelsea. And then as the series finished, little by little, couldn't get any work.
On the Buses remains one of British TV's most successful sitcoms. Loathed by critics but loved by viewers. Its characters became household names, and one in particular proved irresistible to the public.
Now, what do you two think you're up to, eh? This is a bus depot, not a blooming rabbit hutch, you know.
He was what you'd call a proper, full-on Jobsworth.
Stephen Lewis's Blakey was a very extreme, the character the public loved to hate, and they're waiting for the catchphrase.
Today he can still just go, and people fall about. He was just amazing.
Stephen Lewis was just 32 when he started playing Blakey. He was already a successful actor and author, and in the 60s had written the Cockney comedy play Sparrows Can't Sing, which later became a film starring Barbara Windsor. He was known for his earthy comic performances, and in the film we see his distinctive voice and persona emerge.
Of course, if the blinds are on and the lights are out, they might be out.
But it was the character of Bus Inspector Blake which would prove to be his defining role.
The main thing in each episode was always to get one over on him.
Sugar Bertie 11, why aren't you acknowledging me? Over.
I am acknowledging you. Over.
The public took his character to their hearts, being the long-suffering chap trying to exert some sort of authority over the other two rascals.
Sugar Bertie 11, why aren't you answering me?
Sugar Bertie 11 here, I'm answering you. Over.
Well, why aren't I receiving you then? Over.
Because you had the door shut. Over.
He's rather like a school teacher who could never keep control. We all recognise that character from our own lives.
Because he represented power or the boss. It's like the best comedy is when the boss slips on the banana peel, everybody laughs, getting one over on authority. And so Blakey always represented authority that slipped on the banana peel.
I'll get you for this bucker.
The catchphrases are never written into the script, really.
He put it in himself. That was not scripted.
I hate you, bucker. Hate you.
Inspector Blake was brilliant because everybody could do an impression of him. When you've got like a catchphrase, or in his case was just that, and people can do it, people become involved with the programming.
What was good about it is that every now and then Blakey had his day as well. He was able to do his laugh. And then, he'd walk off and leave them two standing there, and he'd have the last laugh on them.
Oh, this has made my day, this day.
Stan Butler and Jack Harper were the bane of Blakey's life. Constantly shirking work and chasing skirts, they were lovable rogues with one-track minds.
I see. Here we go again. Your hormones are playing you up, aren't they?
Come on, you could have admitted it's a cracker.
But Bob Grant, who played Jack, was in fact a classically trained actor from a privileged background.
He was a very clever actor, actually. So clever that you totally are taken in by the Cockney accent and the wide boy.
I always remember he said his dad had paid for him to have this very good education. He was public school. And said, I spent all that money and you're a red-nosed clown.
Has anybody ever told you you've got a lovely smile and you've got lovely teeth, you show them beautifully when you smile? Yeah. Reminds me of also once knew.
His main asset in the show was that he was very good with the ladies.
I don't know why, but the fact is Bob could always get women.
Ursula Mohan appeared as a Clippy throughout the series of On the Buses and was a constant target of Jack's chat-up lines.
I'm ready when you are.
Oh, no.
It never really occurred to me how weird it was that these very young girls, this totty, would be going with these very ancient men and finding them attractive, because Reg must have been nearing 50 and Bob, I think, must have been in his 40s. So it was faintly iffy.
Edna, love.
Yeah?
We got another 10 minutes, and I thought I'd like you to come in. I'll show you how to work the radio in the cab, like, if you like.
Yeah, all right then. Coming, Joyce?
You're joking. I think I'll stay here. I'll go inside with Jack.
Go on, love.
Yeah, well, I'll take off my ticket machine then.
It does give the impression that all women were raving nymphomaniacs who'd fallen to bed very quickly, and I don't think it was like that. But you have got to remember it was just past the 60s, which was the age of liberation. And so maybe all women weren't very free and easy, but men like to believe we were.
Yeah. Oh, excuse fingers.
It was of the time, you know, thank God things have changed. But the way it was done, it was tongue-in-cheek, and it wasn't with malice.
You probably wouldn't get away with it if you put that on TV today, but my guess is it would still be as popular.
Hey, Chalky. Go and tell them two layabouts, Butler and Harper, they're late out, will you? They're in the canteen.
Right.
There weren't many characters of colour, of any colour, in on the buses. And the one that they did have was called Chalky. Wow. I don't think you'd get away with that now.
You'd think to yourself, well, why is he called Chalky? He's not white. Oh, of course, he's black.
Hey, Chalky.
Yeah.
This is Stan.
No, mate.
Ah, he's like the inspector's going balmy.
Oh, well, he's balmy anyway, isn't he?
What was nice about Chalky was he wasn't treated any worse than any of the other bus drivers. You know, everyone had it bad, but you know that name obviously didn't help.
And when I see it, I say, was it necessary? Why not just call him Derek?
The series was so popular that it spawned 3 hit movies. On the big screen, Stan and Jack continued their crusade for Crumpet, and their first film in 1971 became the biggest box office hit of the year. On the Buses even outgrossed James Bond's Diamonds Are Forever.
We made it for £99,000, which even in those days was very little. And it took more millions.
At the height of On the Bus's success, the stars of the show were the UK's top celebrities, swamped in public by fans and appearing on the cover of every magazine. They even had comics and board games made in their image. In 1971, Wolfe and Chesney went to Hollywood to work on the US version of On the Buses, but it was their temporary departure that spelt the beginning of the end for Britain's most popular sitcom.
London Weekend wanted the show to continue, and Bob Grant and Stephen Lewis started writing them. And then they had other writers as well, but it didn't really work.
Unhappy with the way the series was progressing, Michael Robbins left the show at the end of Series 6. Then, halfway through Series 7, Reg Varney also decided he'd had enough.
My little son leaving home so soon.
So soon? Blimey, I've been here nearly 40 years.
I think the show suffered when it lost any one of the original characters because we were a team. And I think if you take something out, it always goes a little bit out of kilter.
I'll soon have that garden looking all ship-shape and tiddly-tidy.
After Stan's departure, Blakey moved into the Butler household as a lodger, but without Reg Varney, On the Buses lost its sparkle. By the end of 1973, the entire cast decided to call it a day.
It goes to show that even with a successful TV show, there's only so many episodes you can write. After that, the whole lot falls apart.
When On the Buses ended, the show stars made the most of their fame. Reg Varney continued performing up until the late 80s. Now, at 92, he lives in quiet retirement in Devon. Stephen Lewis was happy to capitalise on his On the Buses character and starred in the Inspector Blake spin-off Don't Drink the Water. He then went on to star in Oh Dr. Beeching with a strikingly similar performance to Blakey. Stephen still acts and has appeared in Last of the Summer Wine for 17 years. Anna Karen was also happy to take advantage of her character. She reappeared as Olive in Wolfe and Chesney's reprisal of The Rag Trade in 1977. Anna's carried on acting and today can be seen in EastEnders as Aunt Sal.
I was able to take advantage of it, and I'm still working today, and I think it's entirely down to On the Buses.
Both Doris Hare and Michael Robbins continued their successful careers, but it was Bob Grant who found it most difficult to adapt to life after sitcom stardom.
At the height of the series, he got married again. He bought himself a Rolls Royce. he had a beautiful flat in Chelsea, and he had this lovely young wife, and they had 2 kids. And then as the series finished, little by little, couldn't get any work, because people say, no, if we book him, we'll think he's the bus conductor.
After a bout of depression, Bob disappeared from his Leicestershire home in 1987, prompting a public appeal for his safety.
Bob, if you are around, we're all missing you very much, and there's a lot of people in the business that are rooting for you and are missing you and are very concerned.
5 days later, the actor emerged in Dublin, talking openly about his personal problems.
I didn't have any work. I didn't seem to have any prospects. But I've been absolutely astounded by the support from the public, from my friends, and I'm coming back fighting.
Sadly, Bob eventually succumbed to his depression, and in 2003, he took his own life.
I was aware of his struggle with the lack of fame. I hadn't realised it had got as bad as it was. None of us had heard from Bob for about 2 years before that happened, and I don't know why.
Whatever became of the real-life cast, their sitcom characters live on. With On the Buses still being shown today, the series retains huge loyalty and affection amongst generations of fans.
I think it just, in a very innocent way, encapsulates a period of time.
You just laughed, barely laughed at every episode. There aren't many shows like that anymore where you just laugh all the way through.
And now if I tell anybody, oh, I was on the buses, they all go, were you? They say. So it says everything, doesn't it?
If that comedy classic has made you wanting more, stay with ITV1 as we've a classic episode from January 1970. Always coming up with a plan to make more cash.